Good morning. Welcome to the CBS AM debrief. It's Thursday, the 2nd now of September, just past 8:30 here at the moment. And overnight in the US, we had some data come out on the ISM manufacturing numbers for August that came in at 56.3. The forecast was 52.8, and the previous number was 55.5. Now, these are fairly small differences in numbers, but the ISM manufacturing survey is seen as almost as significant a number as something like the non-farms payrolls in terms of where the US economy is at, and in particular during a waning part of the economic cycle. That also has particular resonance. So yes, consequence of that was an absolute cracker of a result on the Dow and the S&P and Nasdaq. The Dow at 2.54, the S&P 500 2.795 rather, and 2.97 for the Nasdaq. And in Europe, some pretty similarly stellar numbers, with the FTSE up 2.7, the CAC at 3.81, and the DAX up 2.68. And then certainly helped locally by that very good GDP figure that we had yesterday. I'll just bring that up here, if I can just find it. Yes, so we saw this on the news, 3.3%, with our beloved politicians coming out and saying yes, that was a cracking number, and pretty well any other country would be proud of those figures, and that's probably fair to say. The other significant bit of data was the PMI numbers out of China as well. So all of these numbers added up to really pushing things along. So we'll just go back to the numbers for our region, SPI, pointing up 74 points. So just getting up towards 5,000. Sorry, 4,500, and might expect to start seeing some resistance here at some point. Hang Seng up 154 and the Nikkei up 140. Have a look at the commodities here. Both oil and copper got a nice lift up, with crude now 73.94, that's West Texas, and Brent at 76.35, so quite strong moves there. Coffee at 182.35, corn at 446 3/4, cotton at 87.41. Most of these moving up between 1% and a couple of percent. Oats at 279 3/4, soy at $10.05.5. That was down a little, and wool at $9.14, up 4 cents. Copper, as I mentioned, $3.47, actually down most recently. And gold at 1,246, so it's just off a little bit. Silver at $19.38, and let's have a look at our currency pairs. Euro is buying 1.2804 US dollars. Pound was buying 1.5452. Yen was at 84.43, and the US dollar was buying 91.09 Aussie, other way around rather, and the Swiss franc at 1.0157. Let's take a look just back at the economic calendar now, so we can get a feel for what we can expect for the rest of the day. So a bit of data out, GDP data out of Switzerland. Expectations there look to be a forecast of 2.6, so pretty good result there year on year. The previous was 2.2. A bit of housing data out of the UK, retail sales out of Switzerland, purchasing manager index out of the UK, and GDP out of the Eurozone. Expectation there is for 1%, which is the previous number. Then, of course, looking to tomorrow is the US non-farm payrolls data, which could surprise to the upside. The figure we're looking for there is we're looking at 105 jobs coming off, or the previous rather was 131,000. Let's go to the Balkan now. Okay, just looking here at rough price. I think I mentioned that we were anticipating a little bit of resistance up at this $11.70 level. We'll seem to have seen that happen. So we might be holding to that price point just a little bit longer yet. Okay, Aussie dollar got a good lift up, both on the back of the GDP figures and that China data. So we're now up into we've got a 91 handle there, and probably expect that will continue, or we'll certainly want to test 92 and a quarter or thereabouts. Waiting for this crude chart to load up. And so we had yesterday's close there at about 71.68, and of course we're now up in the 73s. So a good $2 jump there, and looks like this trading range down here in the low 70s, or the level there rather, will continue to be the trading range between there and a little bit above $80. And that seems to be where to trade crude at the moment. SPY here, back up to this 4,500 level, as I mentioned a moment, heading towards this 4,600. If we break that, we can expect some clear air to the upside, but probably a little bit too early to do that. If you were inclined to short the market here, that could be one way to trade the market here, because recent experience tells us that whilst the data looks good, that only lasts about 24 hours until the next set of data comes out and the whole view changes again. Just looking here at what else we might want to take a look at, and I think that probably pretty well covers it. So we might leave it there, and again, or rather, as always, thanks for your attention, and we'll speak again soon. Bye bye.